Alright, it's time to draw some more Pokemon from memory. In the last video, if you haven't seen it, I drew the first 51 Pokemon from the Kanto region. This time, I'm gonna do the next 50 or so. These videos are pretty self-explanatory. Essentially, I'm just trying not to look at all of these Pokemon for a while, and then I'm going in a drawing app and trying to draw them entirely from memory without any reference or anything. And unlike other videos I've seen of people doing this, I'm actually trying to make them kind of detailed, and I'm trying to get the colors down from memory as well. So let's get in right where we left off at number 52, Meowth. As you can see here, I was pretty close. The main things I missed are the brown layer on the feet, as well as 2 sets of extra whiskers. The ones coming out of the top of the head I actually wanted to add, but then for some reason I was like, you know what, they're not actually there, but in fact they are, so oops. Then for Persian, I really messed up. I was just forgetting the anatomy of a cat somehow. So it looks really weird, but it's not the worst thing in the world. Anyway, then we've got Psyduck. And as I mentioned in the last video, I am a massive Pokemon geek. So I've seen these Pokemon a lot, and I deal with them a lot. So I'm even going as far as trying to replicate some of their official artworks, because I pretty much have all of them memorized. It's just a matter of the fact that I'm not the best artist, and even for any artist it can be hard to try and actually replicate what's in your head. But anyway, here's Psyduck. This one came out pretty well. Main problem is that its head is a little too round in what I drew. As for Golduck, I ran into some troubles with its head shape. I missed one of its little horns, as well as all of its claws. Then we've got Mankey. I got its eye color wrong, and I also missed the sort of inner color of its ears, but it doesn't look too bad. I'm honestly a fan of the way this one came out. Same for Primeape, and if anything, there's even less wrong with this one. This one I'm actually a big fan of. This isn't one I was trying to replicate the official art, I was just trying to make my own pose, and I'm actually fairly proud of it. Then for Growlithe, sometimes I just blank on how to draw. Or at the very least, I'm like, I don't even want to try and draw the official art, so I just draw some really generic side profile. And that's what happened here. So it looks pretty ugly, but oh well. Okay, then we've got Arcanine, which might be the worst thing I've created so far. I honestly just gave up, that's why I indicated that in the drawing. I don't even know what I was trying to do here. It's bad. Oh well. Anyway, then Poliwag. Poliwag's a very simple design, so it was kind of hard to mess anything up. But the main problem was just I went a little too deep with the color. Same for Poliwhirl. I also thought its eyes came fully out of its head. They're actually sort of set into little bumps. And for Poliwrath, I sort of made the little belly swirl area a little too big. Then we've got Abra, which looks a little weird. I think I made its head too big. Then for Kadabra, Kadabra is definitely one of the more complex Kanto Pokemon, so this one was a little bit trickier. But I got some of the main stuff down. I forgot that its tail is like really big, but I did get the 3 little lightning bolt things, albeit the wrong color, and the red star on its head. Then for Alakazam, what I came up with is pretty much just an under-detailed version of what it's supposed to look like. Then for Machop, I went a little too vibrant for the colors, which happens a lot. I guess it's just my brain remembering the general color and saying, yeah, it's just this, but extreme. I did get its 3 weird little rib, gill, fat, whatever thing lines it has. Machoke, for some reason, I forgot it were like shorts. I thought they were just like full tracksuit pants or something. And then for Machamp, I sort of leaned a little too much into Machop's color for its color, but it's not that bad. And this time I went a little too little on the belt. Like for Machop, I made the shorts into pants. Here, I just made the shorts into a belt. But they both still pretty much just wear like shorts, so I messed up on both of those. Bellsprout is one of the most simple designs there is, so I didn't really mess up at all. Weepinbell, I just made its proportions a little off, I guess. And then for Victory Bell, the main thing I messed up on was its little stem thing sort of extends down into a tail, and also I added a little point to the bottom of it for some reason. I think I was misremembering the tail that sticks out as that little needle I added. Tentacles honestly not that bad. I like the way this one came out. I guess the blue part of its body, like the head, comes down into a little hood that wraps around the back of the tentacles, but for a lot of them it's just very minor details I missed out on. Tentacruel, I forgot its like back pincer thing, as well as a set of tentacles, because apparently it has like 5 sets of them. Geodude just came out looking a little too chubby and a little too grayish, I guess. Then we have Graveler, which I honestly think is one of my favorite ones I came up with. It's honestly pretty close, and I don't think it looks too bad. Then we have Golem, which is another one where I was just like, you know what, I'm drawing this from the side, oh well, I don't know what I'm doing. And thus, it looks pretty bad, but oh well. Ponyta, I don't know what went wrong. It looks very stretched out. I also forgot the fire on its legs, but oh well. Same thing goes for Rapidash. Then we've got Slowpoke. You'll definitely notice that this one looks different. That's because I tried a thicker brush stroke, which I realized was a bad idea. Slowbro here just looks like a uglier version of what it's supposed to look like. Magnemite is such a simple design. I actually missed 2 of its screws. I don't know how that happened. Oops. I was about to say I didn't mess anything up, but I actually did. However, I did actually get the magnet patterns right, with the blue on top and the red on top on the respective sides. Magneton, again, I missed a couple screws, as well as 2 of its magnets. For some reason, I was thinking the 2 on the bottom had 2 screws and 1 magnet each. Farfetch'd, I was really blanking on what its eye looked like, and also apparently its color, because the color is way off. Doduo does not look bad at all. Very cute. And then Dodrio's a little worse for some reason. I thought its side heads only had 1 feather on their head. They have 2, just like the main one. I also made the gradient on its tail go into black instead of white. Seal here doesn't look too bad. There's just a usual handful of mistakes here and there. Same for Dugong here. I made its fins a little too compact, I guess. They're a lot more like fabric-like. Grimer didn't come out looking too bad. I guess the main problem is that I made the lines going through it lighter as opposed to darker than its body color. Same thing goes for Muck. And for Muck specifically, I wasn't trying to replicate its official art. I was actually trying to replicate this TCG artwork, because for some reason that stuck with me better than the official art. Then we've got Shelter, which doesn't look too bad. I knew it had like lines going through the top of it, but when I tried to draw them, it just looked ugly, so I kept it out for aesthetic purposes. Cloyster is a very kind of complex design, at least if all of its like bumps and ridges, so I made a couple mistakes. Ghastly, I knew some part of its eyes extended beyond its body. For some reason I thought they were like the eyebrows that did, and they kind of are, but it's actually the whole eye that does, but then the black lines still do extend out a bit. Haunter, I thought it was a really simple design that I would do pretty well, but I actually didn't. Anyway, Gengar doesn't look too bad, just a little under-detailed as usual. Same thing for Onix. I think I was thinking of Steelix when I was doing its tail, because I gave what I'm pretty sure Steelix has on the end of its tail. Onix actually just has a little ball at the end. Drowsy, for some reason I forgot that it has like the little ripple separating its 2 colors. I thought it was just like a brown belly. Hypno, the main issue is that I made its ears a little too small and not pointy enough, but then its nose a little too big. Then for Krabby, all of these like insect-like complex designs of a bunch of little like sections and lines in them, I always mess those up. Although Kingler looks a little better. I even got the number of horns on its head right. And then lastly, we're going to end a Voltorb and Electrode, probably the 2 most simple designs in the whole Kanto Dex. Only problem with Voltorb is that I made its color a little too vibrant. Electrode, however, I turned the color down a little bit because I remembered that it's not really that bright. However, for some reason I thought the mouth was connected to the cross-section. It's actually not, but otherwise it doesn't look that bad. So yeah, that's the next 51-ish Pokemon, according to memory. I don't know if I'll make the final part next week or not, because I actually haven't even finished drawing all of them. It does take a while.